Hi guys, it's Coach Pat from the Rant. Before we get to the Rant, let's talk a little bit about our sponsor, Premier Football Consulting. These guys do a great job of placing football players throughout the country at great programs from Division I to Division III. No one does it any better. But instead of me telling you about it, how about you hear from the CEO, Nico Pappas? Nico, tell us all about it.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Rant. My name is Nico Pappas. I'm Coach Pappas' son. I'm also the director and one of the founders here at Premier Football Consulting. Our team at PFC has been around for 23 years and is one of the largest football consulting groups in the country, as we've helped over 1,000 players and their family navigate this competitive, confusing, and costly recruiting process in an effort to find a great college fit. Our team consists of 15 former players and coaches that have experience at the FBS level, the FCS and Ivy League level, as well as the small college high academic landscape. Since the advent of the transfer portal, the NIL, and in the post days of COVID, this college recruiting process has become crazier than ever. It's confusing, it's competitive, and most importantly, it's costly. The PFC has stayed on top of all of these trends and has the ability to leverage our experience, our knowledge, and most importantly, our connections at the college level to give our players a huge edge in what will be a very competitive process. So if your son desires to play college football, I highly recommend that you get the help of an expert. When you go to buy a house, you look to hire a real estate agent. It's the same thing with the college recruiting process. When you are about to enter it, you should seek the help of an expert, and that's where the PFC comes in. So if you would be interested in a quick free consultation call, feel free to reach out to me at 617-308-7801 or shoot me an email at nico@premierfootballconsulting.com. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
Thank you, Nico, and thank you, Coach Pap. Now, on to the podcast. Cue the music, baby.
Hey, welcome to the Rant. I'm Coach Pap, and as you can tell, I am changing. Danny and I have changed spots. I'm sitting in a very cold condo apartment here in Charlestown, and Danny is baking down there in beautiful Florida. Oh God, tell how times change, Dan. So, and of course, the great Damian Pasita is with us, the producer.
I'm still here, by the way,
clean
guys.
this week.
I'm clean shaven. Got the haircut. I know Danny hates
I didn't know it was him.
the haircut. I had to cut it just for Danny. You know, clean face. What do you like the face, Danny? You like the clean shaven?
Look fantastic, brother.
Awesome.
He better not be interviewing Dan. He better not be interviewing for another job. That's usually what it be. And NBA. How about this NBA gambling scam? Holy God.
Terrible. I mean, I think it's just the tip of the iceberg. I think once they start getting in, because some of these guys, but once they get looking at the potential of being in the Slammer for 20 years, they might start to sing like Sopranos. And these aren't the only two guys. There's a lot of people involved in this. And the FBI this isn't an NBA investigation anymore. This is the FBI. They're not screwing around.
Danny, you and I lived through the Boston College shaving scandal, Lufthansa case, where Rick Kuhn, Sweeney, and Ernie Cobb were throwing games for Boston College. Okay, and it became very famous in the movie Goodfellas. This thing is going to just absolutely dwarf that. I mean, we're talking tens of millions of dollars, Danny, that were cheated out of many, many people. Some famous people are coming out. This is going to be nuts.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. And how would you like to, if you can't afford to pay the debt off, who's coming after you? I didn't even know the 5 families were still around.
I haven't heard the word mafia in years, man. I thought they were extinct. I thought they were the dinosaurs, man. They're still around?
Unbelievable.
Obviously, they're around. Ask Chauncey Billups.
Oh my God. This is good. This is riveting. Like I said, we're doing it on a Thursday afternoon. The stuff is just coming out right now. This is absolutely good. And we're talking an NBA head coach. Absolutely crazy. Bizarre. But anyways, Dare we regress? All right, Dame, let's start off. Let's have some fun with the real sport. Let's go with the football, Damien. Go ahead, buddy.
All right, guys, let's do our favorite segment of the show, Danny's MIA breakdown. Danny, what do you got for us this week?
Well, last week I said Xaverian CM could be the game of the year, and John counted with BB&N Milton Academy as game of the year. Guess what? We both were right.
Yeah.
It's almost bizarre how the games turned out. Xaverian beats CM on a field goal at the end of the game, and BB&N beats Milton Academy on a field goal at the end of the game. The moral of the story is, if you want to know high school football, stay here.
Yeah.
A few other results. Barnstable keeps rolling, knocked off previously undefeated Dartmouth. Quincy was undefeated going into the game against Situate. I think they get their comeuppance a little bit. Lowell, and I'll tell you, that's a surprise. Scott Boyle is doing a fantastic job at Lowell. He beat Bill Ricker. I don't know if we should mention this one again. Burlington beat the Big Bob team.
Yeah.
Foxborough had a fight to beat Canton. Shawsheen keeps rolling. I mean, some things never change. Up in the Cape Ann League, you had North Reading beat Amesbury in a real good game. And BC High MC, I mean, you're heartbreaker for MC. I give them credit, though. They went for the win. I'll tell you, I like the play call. I got to give the BC High kid credit. I thought he was going right in.
I thought so.
But kudos to Joe. It's a thankless job. They're cutting it down little by little, so which is good to see. And then Fairhaven, another team program that really under Coach Almeida is flying, knocked off Bourne. And going into this week, games I'm looking at is Andover Central Catholic, which is always a war. Bishop Fee and Franklin, Marshfield Hingham, North Attleboro Mansfield Super Bowl rematch. Shawsheen, Greater Lawrence, and then over in the privates, Dexter Southfield, Avon Old Farms, BB&N St. Seb's, and Tabor St. Paul's. Good week for anyone, wherever you are in Eastern Mass. You can find a good game. Go out there and support the kids.
Great job, Danny, as always. Yeah, it's starting to heat up big time. I was up here for the weekend. I saw the doubleheader. I went over to BC High, watched Malta Catholic play their ass off, and I'll tell you what, back and forth, and scored in the last play of the game, and a 30-yard bomb down the middle of the field.
Great play.
It was an absolutely great play. And then you're right, Joe Gaff made the right call going for two. It was heartbreaking. But again, you know what? I've watched a lot of public school this year. I've watched a lot of private school. And now for the first time, really going to watch Catholic Conference football. It's a good level of football. Those guys, great coaching. So that was unbelievable. I left there, grabbed a slice of pizza, head over to BB&M Milton Academy. What a game that was. This Q McNeil. And I know the state is really full of great quarterbacks these days. Wow. He looked like Jaden Daniels. I mean, I recruited the ISL. I coached in the ISL. I'm a fan of the ISL. I'm not sure I've seen a better quarterback performance than what he did. And BB&N, God bless them. They do exactly what Mike Willie does all the time. They pounded away. And they made the plays at the end. Came back, 2-minute drill, 3 great completions, and then Vince Snoonian bangs in a 46-yard field goal. Vince Snoonian, Boston College should offer Vince Snoonian right now, and I'm not exaggerating. The kid is a throwback. He's a dynamite player, and he's a ridiculous kicker. But that would make too much sense.
More importantly, John, quick question: where'd you get the slice of pizza?
Stella's in Watertown. I mean,
Stella's, huh? All right.
Oh, please. Are you kidding me? Truth be told, I got 3 slices, Danny. I mean, you know what I mean? We
weren't going to go there.
Hey, don't tell Sherry.
No, off the record.
And like you said, Danny, a plethora of great games coming up. But the one that I'm really interested in is going to be Dexter Avon Old Farms. Dexter with Rory Funk at quarterback. Boy, if you don't get a chance to see this kid play, wow. He's about 6'3", 190 pounds. Both his brothers are Division I linemen. This kid is outstanding. and they're going up against Avon Old Farms with about 8 or 10 big-time PGs. That's going to be a hell of a game over in Brookline this weekend. And then one real quick thing, Dan, because I know we got to bounce a little bit, but holy camoli, Division II. I'm starting to look at the matchups. They're not going to have enough teams that legally make the 16 teams.
It's terrible. But statewide, they did say that all the divisions would be balanced.
Listen,
Doesn't look balanced to me.
It just, it doesn't look balanced to me either, my friend. It's unbelievable, and it's just too bad. Because again, there's every other division looks like they're gonna have some really, really, really great 1 to 16 matchups. So we'll talk to Coach Dembowski about this later, but that's just too bad. Anyways, okay, Dan, where we going, buddy?
All right, guys, let's transition right into the college NCAA, guys. This was quite a fascinating week. We had a ton of great SEC games with Ole Miss, Georgia. That was my favorite game. We had Tennessee, Alabama. We had a UMass game that went very, very interesting. I'm gonna let you guys talk about that one because I truly cannot talk about that one right now. And more importantly, Miami lost to Louisville, which was very surprising. That was a great game to watch all day. Guys, let's talk about it.
Danny, I'll start off. I mean, I'm going to start with the last game that Damien just talked about. I mean, how many times can the University of Miami choke? It's just unbelievable. And the crazy part about it is they could have had Mendoza at quarterback. I mean, the kid is a Columbus, Miami graduate. The kid wanted to go Miami. They had the money to pay him, and they went with Carson Beck, and it's already bit him right in the ass. That was a bad decision.
Absolutely.
And I bet you they lose another one before the end, and they'll be on the outside looking in again. That was crazy to me. Like you're saying, the Georgia-Mississippi game is pure entertainment whenever Lane Kiffin is involved. But what I'm really finding interesting here, guys, in the top 12, we could talk all about the whole deal, is we got some academic schools here that are defying the whole portal thing. I mean, Diego, and I pronounce it Pavia at quarterback is the price of admission playing for Vanderbilt. I mean, from a junior college out in New Mexico. Not sure he was actually the ideal student to get into Vandy, but we'll let that go. We've talked about Georgia Tech, what a great job they are doing. And then Virginia, where have they come from? So anyways, Danny, that's what I think about what's going on.
One thing that I really liked as an old school guy, I love the historical stuff. And it wasn't the greatest game in the world, but Notre Dame, USC, there's always something to it.
Oh, yeah.
And I just hope that that this is not the end. Because there's just so much, I mean, there's so many historical things that have gone on in this game. And you see how many people, and it's funny, you hear like it even goes to Hollywood, a guy like Will Ferrell, because last week they were talking to Brady Quinn. He says, one play I'm running to the sideline and then I get some lunatic screaming at me to pull my pants down. He turns around, it's Will Ferrell yelling. And he said he wasn't fooling around. He was yelling. But that, you got a lot of venom there after the game. I know some of the Notre Dame fans weren't too kind. A lot of one-fingered salutes to USC, and that happens. But I mean, it was fun to see.
Who do you think, Dan? Now, as we get into this thing, I mean, the bottom three, they're the 10, 11, 12s. I mean, kind of the at-large guys. What are you thinking?
I mean, Texas Tech lost. I mean, their regular quarterback is out. I don't know how long he's out for, but I think their body of work, as long as they take care of business, I think they belong in there. The one that I think really hurt themselves is LSU.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know if you can keep them in there. I mean, if you put them in, you have to put Vanderbilt in there.
Right.
Well, I'll tell you, he's not getting a lot of Heisman, but it's time for Diego Pavia or whatever, Pavia. Yeah. He needs to be in the top 3. I mean, he's certainly done a great job.
Unbelievable. Yeah, and we want it just so his mother shows up to the ceremony, Jenny.
This is what I hear. I'm not, as my wife is 12 feet away, I refuse to comment on that.
Dan, we can look. Well, it's like a library card.
Don't touch.
It's like a library card. You can go in and read the books.
Nice.
I know. Yeah, I think LSU is really, really going to be in the outside looking in. I just hope it does not become an SEC tournament. You know what I mean? That's what I really, really don't want to see. So, anyways, but it's an exciting time for college football as well. Dame, why don't you transition, buddy? What do you got?
All right, guys, let's transition back into pro football, the NFL, guys. This was a very fun week of football. I mean, start off on Monday night, we got the Lions played great against the Bucs. That was a great game to watch. Then we got one of the most interesting games, I think, of the season was probably the Denver Giants game. I have never seen a game end like that in my entire life. I have no words for that game. How do you blow a 19-point lead in the fourth quarter? I mean, let's talk about it, guys.
Go ahead, Dan.
To me, it's not even the 19-point lead because that stuff happens. The fact that they shut them out for 3 quarters and then gave up 33 points in the fourth quarter. That's the most bizarre thing of all.
Yeah. I agree. I agree, Danny. It was. I'm just not a Sean Payton fan. So for me, it was painful to watch. I love Bo Nix. I think he's great. You know what I mean? And I honestly, I'm rooting for the young guys for the Giants. And I like Dabo. I secretly, really want my guy Lou to have a shot at that head job if and when Dabo gets fired now. But it was really hard to watch Sean Payton do it. And then his typical wise guy comments about Russell Wilson. That made I want to talk lack of class. What an idiot. Yeah.
Well,
Great.
Wilson, I liked Wilson's response, though.
Right.
That was good. Well-deserved.
Yeah. Say what you want about Russell Wilson. All my buddies in that league say he's a great guy.
I dealt with him twice. He was a very, very nice guy.
Yeah.
Dangerous, man. Dangerous. He's the man.
Yeah. Unlike Sean Payton. I mean, that fucking guy. I swear to God. You know what, my guys? We're for real.
Yep.
Boy, I'll tell you what. You want to talk about, we talked about exciting watching high school ball in Massachusetts. You watch those Colts games. Wow, are they playing offense? In a million years, Danny, how could you ever? They run the ball. They throw the ball. They do everything on offense, and Lou's doing just enough with a kind of a decimated group. Hopefully picks up. I would love to see them get Hendrickson. Love to see him get Hendrickson. But anyways.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Have you get a chance to see
There's going to be some names coming out in the next week.
Yeah. It's going to be really good. And what's funny is these guys love Lou. So they really, like Jermaine Pratt.
Yeah.
I mean, they want to play for him, which is fantastic. So, but the Colts have been, the Colts are definitely for real. It's been a fun NFL group, really, really fun. Which brings us, Damian. Now, listen, last week we got to get Coach Dembowski on here. Last week you spent like 45 minutes talking about the Patriots. But let me ask you this, Damian.
Yes.
I mean, we're all rooting for them, but are they for real? I mean, look at the schedule. You tell me, are they for real?
I think I'll tell you my complete opinion. I think this team can make the playoffs. I think they will make the playoffs. I think that has to do with their schedule. Their schedule is absolutely terrible. It is the easiest schedule left in the NFL. I think this team is amazing. Again, they're not Super Bowl contenders. I will tell you that they're not. I may have said it a couple times on the show. Let's be fun. They're not Super Bowl contenders. I really think this team can really win a playoff game. That is my entire goal this season. If they win a playoff game, I am so pleased. I really think.
I think
Might be the problem.
Oh, good.
So yeah, let's talk about the running back problem because we spent a second-round pick on a running back, a very gifted, very, very great running back that I loved watching in college. And it's week 7, week 8, and we're just not gonna use him for one snap. I really did not like that. Let's talk about it.
All right, and I'm just gonna jump in. Then Danny, you go. The reason the running back's not playing is he doesn't understand the offense. It's as simple as that. They love the kid, but you listen. The golden goose is the quarterback. He misses one protection. He misses one check down. I mean, that kid's getting whacked. That's why he's not playing. Danny, what do you think of the Pats, buddy?
I couldn't agree more. I mean, look, I've said all along, the goal is to head in the right direction. They're clearly heading there. The guys are buying into Vrabel. I think there's a lot of confidence. You can say all you want, John. You've coached. You can say all you want, but there's no better thing than winning. That's what the players don't want to hear you talk. If you're winning, they will listen to you. And I think they've bought into Vrabel.
Yeah. I couldn't agree with you more. And it's not just Vrabel. I've said it ad nauseum. Josh McDaniel, if they put in assistant coaches in the Hall of Fame, he's a first ballot guy. What he has done with Drake May. I mean, listen, the kid is fantastic, but he wasn't fantastic last year. And this year he's right now is the front runner for the MVP. That has a lot to do with coaching, fellas. Okay, and what McDaniel has done. This will be very interesting. The Cleveland Browns are a great defensive team.
Yes, they are.
They're going to get after their ass this week. This will be very, very interesting. This will tell something. But Damian, you're right. I mean, they have a chance of being they not only have the chance they have a chance of hosting the first round playoff.
Yes, I mean, we could win the AFC East. Again, the Bills are the Bills. The Bills are going to win games. I think it's up in the air. It's a competition, but we need to. If we can sweep the Jets and then beat the Bills, if we sweep the Bills too, I think we're great, guys. I think we're home run winning the division. But I'm more focused on the playoff win.
Yeah, good for you. They love it. You fucking typical young guy. Just go next 8 games with kids. It's unbelievable. Hey, before we go anywhere,
yes,
we've got to mention. How about the Detroit Lions getting every single call? How about them getting every single
come on. Stop it. Now you sound like Baker Mayfield. The calls were all legit. Come on. They actually missed one on the series where the rookie wide receiver got held in the end zone. They didn't call it. So we didn't get every call.
They become one of the NFL elite. They're just like the Chiefs now. It's unbelievable.
Only hope.
I hope too, man. I hope too. Let's get the Lombardi in Detroit, man. It's about time.
I would be pretty happy with it.
Yeah,
I would be very happy with that. How about some of the other MVP candidates? I mean, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold,
Jonathan Taylor.
I say that he's had a phenomenal year.
Yeah,
I think he deserves to be in there. I'll tell you, another guy is Dak Prescott. I mean, he's phenomenal. Big numbers
with that offense, man.
I mean, they're going to have to win every game. They're like the NFC version of the Bengals.
Yeah.
They're going to have to win a lot of games, 40-30.
Yeah.
While we're on the Bengals, is there, Danny? You're an I can't believe I'm saying ex-journalist. You are a emeritus journalist. But what a great interview Joe Flacco is, isn't he?
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's something else. You never know what you're going to expect with him. But I tell you, he can still throw the ball.
Yeah.
Maybe
they should have grabbed him a couple weeks ago.
Did you? How about Mike Tomlin? How stupid does he look now? I mean, Mike Tomlin looks stupid. I mean, or the Browns. I mean, the Browns are in disarray purely because obviously the head coach and the GM are not getting along.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Stepanovich wanted to keep Flacco. The kid from Harvard, the GM. I mean, he wanted to get rid of him. I mean, you can't argue with Dylan Gabriel. He's done a hell of a job there.
Yeah.
But getting back to Flacco, this guy, he's 40-something years old, played 18 years in the league. He was talking about how nervous he was when he first met Jamar Chase and Higgins. He goes, those guys are so good. He goes, I wanted to make sure they know I could throw the ball.
Oh, Chase knows he targeted him 23 times.
Yeah. I mean,
16 receptions, I think 16. The Bengals record, which is nuts. 16 receptions.
Danny, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that if Sherry and Carlo were co-defensive coordinators for the Steelers, they would have figured out after the 18th target, you better double team Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
I mean, what in a million years was that? Yeah, it's just crazy. Anyone else in the NFL that's floating your boat, guys?
mean, I think that's pretty clear. I mean, the Eagles had a big bounce back. Yeah, I mean, to me, they're still the team to beat. I mean, as they may be a little dysfunctional, but they're really talented. And when they put their minds out there to play, they're tough.
I disagree. I think I think they're going to stumble all the way. I just don't think. To me, listen, I love Jalen Hurts. I mean, he's a great leader. In getting back to Jonathan Taylor, in my opinion, Saquon Barkley should have been the MVP last year. What he does for that team is unbelievable. But I just see a kink in the armor with Jalen Hurts. I just don't think he's the. Listen, he's won the Hall of Fame. He's a fantastic young man. But I just don't think they're going to have it this year. I think, honestly, Danny, I think your Lions are going to do it. I think they are. I mean,
we'll see.
I mean, is there? How about Hutch off the edge, buddy?
He's just going to keep getting better as the season goes on.
Yeah.
Even after that leg injury, boy, he's killing it after his injury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thank Jacksonville for not taking him.
Yeah. I still think about that pick, like Jalen Walker.
I can't believe it. I mean, I'm thinking, they're gonna trade the second pick because I don't think they want Trayvon Walker. And when I hear his name mentioned, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. I couldn't believe that. Me too, when they took that first overall pick.
Speaking of Jacksonville and and the debacle over in London, boy, I'll tell you what. Just talking to some of my buddies in the NFL, not the Jacksonville guys, a few of the other guys. It is really rough on these staffs and these teams to go over and play in Europe.
That's so much. Like, I couldn't believe they scheduled the game. It was a Los Angeles Rams game, and it was scheduled so the game would be airing at 6 a.m. LA time. I'm like, why are we putting West Coast teams in Europe? That's like my thing. Why? Like, do it for the fan base who watches the team. It's just NFL just wants more money. That's just what it is.
Great point.
And what they're saying now, guys, as they move forward, is the NFL. They're not coming back. They're going further. I mean,
there's no doubt about it.
They're going 18 games. They're going to have teams that are going to have home bases. Some in the U.S., some in Europe. It is just absolutely.
Saudi Arabia is coming because everything is predicated on money, and nobody has more money than the Arab princes.
No one.
I mean, look at the tennis. 2 weeks ago, they had this tournament called the Six Kings Slam. I believe the 6 guys, it's the top 6 guys in the world. I believe they got $1 million or $1.5 million just to show up. And I think the winner, the Italian guy Sinner, won $6 million, and they gave him a gold-plated racket worth $250,000.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Jesus,
they get the money.
That beats the Danny V Open down at Daly Field in Brighton.
That's it.
Used to give him a Joe's Variety sandwich.
No comment.
Okay, folks, let's listen. Our great 10 minutes is going to be with Coach Steve Dembowski from Milton High School. Steve is quite frankly going to be a Hall of Fame coach in Massachusetts. He just got his 200th win. What's very impressive about that is he basically did it in 2 different communities. He did it at Swampscott and he did it at Milton, where he built both programs. Okay, he's the offensive guru of Massachusetts high school football. Let's bring in Coach Steve Dembowski.
Yes, Steve.
Thank you. Nice welcome.
Hey, Steve.
How are you?
I'm great, guys. Thanks for having me.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on, Steve. We really appreciate it. Like I said in my intro, you've had a fantastic career, buddy. Fantastic career, and it's still going, which is great. Can you tell us a little bit about your start here in Massachusetts and your offensive philosophy and how it's gotten to you where you are?
I loved my high school experience. I played for 2 years for Stan Bondalevich and 2 years for Bill Bush. I had a great experience, and I was lucky enough to go play at UMass. And then when I got out of school, I almost went into college coaching. I interviewed with Dartmouth. I had an opportunity to coach the tight ends, and I just felt like I needed to make money. And so it was like $5,000 to be a GA, and my parents were like, hey, we'll support you if you want to do it. And I said, I'll get a job and I'll coach in Swampscott. And Bill Bush gave me the defense as a first-year coach. I had no experience, and he gave me the defense. I worked with the Beatrice family, Peter and Tom and Greg, and Tom did the offense. He had played at Harvard, and he used a lot of what he had used there. So I did the defense for 3 years. We had a lot of success with kids like Peter Woodfork, Todd McShay, and the great Dave Portnoy. So it was a lot of fun. And then when Tom stepped away, I took over the offense, and we were running like a pro style at that time. And it was we had some good players, but then as soon as I took over as head coach, we had won in 96 and 97. We'd won the league and made it to the Super Bowl and all that. And then all of a sudden, like we didn't have the size, and we couldn't do anything consistently against Gloucester and Salem at that time, and Beverly. And I think I was 4-6 my first year and 4-7 my second year. And that's when I went to a clinic, Coaches Association clinic, and I met Frank Stamilio, who introduced, in an hour, the spread offense and what he was running, where he got it from. He talked with me probably for another hour and a half, and then he agreed to have me down to Connecticut. And then we had some staff meetings with his staff. And I knew I had Kyle Beatrice coming up who could throw it. And I had all these great athletes, Timmy Kiley, the Blydell brothers, Jeff Pratt. Like I had a slew of kids that were multi-sport athletes, and we were able to, we had some linemen here and there, but and we also had a great back initially in Alex Stone. And it just kind of took off. In year one, we went 7-4. We modified our defense, and then it was, one year we scored 67 touchdowns with, Beatrice coming out in the third quarter of a lot of those games. So it's just kind of grown from there.
See, one thing I would ask is when you go to your team, this is back at Swampscott, when you tell them, hey, this is what the type of offense, were some of those skill guys, they must have felt like kids in a candy store.
They did, but even, Peter Beatrice was Kyle's dad, and he was like, what? We're going to be in the gun every play? We're going to throw it how many times? And I said, we're going to throw it until people stop it, then we'll run it, and my line coach, John Hoffman, he was like a non-believer. And then we went out, and I remember we scrimmaged Tewksbury. Brian Elwood's probably like first year of we were both like babies out there coaching, and they came out and put 7 guys in the box and played cover 0, and Beatrice didn't play in the scrimmage because he had mono, and the backup, who was a converted running back, threw 4 touchdowns. And John Hoffman said, all right, I guess this will work. I'll coach it. So, I guess I was lucky that I had that group to start with, but, we've invested a ton of time in like the Tony Franklin system, the Noel Mazzoni system. And now we just steal things from anybody who does anything that's really unique that will fit with what we're doing. And, this year it's like we have tight ends that have helped us this year. And I only had that one other year at Swampscott. So I'm using the tight ends, and that's helping us. So, you just kind of warp it into whatever your personnel, is, and try to get your best 11 on the field.
One thing now you're a Swampscott guy through and through.
Yeah.
To leave Swampscott to go to Milton, how tough was that decision for you?
It was brutal. I knew it was going to have to happen. My wife's career was taking off. She was traveling. My girls were like 8 and 10. They were playing sports. We were still playing Saturday games at Swampscott then. it was getting hard. I had talked with Charlie Stevenson about joining his staff. We had multiple conversations. He was like, "You're not an assistant coach." And he kind of talked me out of it one year of leaving. And then my daughter was great friends with Larry Rooney's daughter, and Larry, who's now the CM hockey coach,
Right.
was at the time the Milton AD when the job opened up. And I had written a recommendation for a friend for the job. I was not interested in it. And Larry called me and he said, "Let's have a cup of coffee, blah, blah, blah." And my wife, Kristen, was, said, "Why don't you look at it seriously?" And they agreed to, make some changes with how they were, doing things. And I took the job, and, I walked in that first year. And again, I had great players, Mike Fallon, who, walked on and earned a scholarship at UMass, a quarterback. I had two great running backs. I had the Perkins brothers and two other good receivers. We had a defensive end who went to New Haven. I mean, we had all the pieces, and we lose in the state semifinal because we didn't have a kicker. And that was the killer. And a couple of plays went against us. A kid makes a one-handed catch. A ref misses a face mask on a fourth down play. And we lose a heartbreaker to Dartmouth, who had a great club. And from that point on, the town was completely in. Everything that we've needed, from upgrading the equipment and the support we get at home games, our administration, it's been great. And, it took a while to get to a Super Bowl. We were semifinalists like 4 times before we finally broke through. And then we get there and we got to play Walpole, who beat us by 19, and we're down 14-0 before you can sneeze. And, we come back and just score 42 straight. It was unbelievable.
Love it.
So,
hey, Steve, how was Portnoy?
How was he?
Yeah.
He was interesting. He really only played football to get his baseball buddies to play baseball.
Yeah.
He was a backup safety for me. I was the defensive backs coach and the D coordinator. And he had a play. We had a kid named Brendan Nolan who was a good baseball player. He went on to play at Boston College, and Brendan got hurt in a game. And I put Dave in a game, and he kept looking over like he didn't know what to do. And Peter Woodfork was lining him up. And then eventually, he played, and we came back and won that game at Beverly. And then he basically, we moved Peter Bush, who was a sophomore at the time, who was a scholarship player in his own right and a great player. But I moved him into the lineup. And Pap, you probably know, like, a lot of head coaches give their kid the benefit of the doubt because he lives and breathes football through you. Bill Bush was the opposite. "Steven, does Peter have to play? Do we have anybody better?" I'm like, "Coach, he's really good. He's ready." And he had a great career, as a quarterback in the DB at Swampscott. And, those kids were great. And that was kind of the hook to me. Like, I got to coach all the great kids, and they've gone on and done so much. There's an artist in the group. There's, Billy Ryan, who worked in executive for Major League Baseball. Peter Woodfork's in the Major League Baseball home office. Todd McShay has had, his career. Got one guy, owned 2 or 3 restaurants. Like, it's an unbelievable group of kids. And like, that was like my hook into it. Like, I just like being a mentor to those kids. And at that time I was the cool assistant coach.
Yeah.
I was 24 years old and completely out of my mind. And they were just dying to win. They had been 5-5, 3 straight years. And it was all good.
I love it. I remember that team. Woolfolk was one of my favorite high school players of all time. He was a fantastic baseball guy.
Yeah.
Steve, I have great admiration for you in a lot of ways. And I've had these conversations with a lot of guys, and I'm fortunate to know guys in the NFL level all the way down. The one level that I would not recommend, and please don't take this wrong, I know you won't. The one regular level I think is the toughest level to be is a public school teacher, a coach, and especially in Massachusetts, because there are so many different ways. We were talking about it used to be just the Catholic schools, no longer. You have the private schools, you have the Catholic schools, and quite frankly, you have the vocational schools that are grabbing kids.
Yeah.
You've got an unbelievable job with your off-season programs, the 7-on-7 stuff and everything like that. Can you and you're basically keeping a lot of the Milton kids. I mean, Milton Academy right down the street. Can you basically talk a little bit how you approach that with the guys in your program and keeping them home?
It's interesting. I've had some conversations with some families that, I've even approached them. I have a couple of great players right now that are both underage. I have a 6'5", 260-pound lineman, and I told his father after his sophomore year, I said, he might need to reclassify. You might need to leave.
Yeah.
And he said, we're not leaving, coach. And I think, I mean, he might have to do a prep school year, or he might have to, go somewhere and then go in the portal or whatever. But I think I take pride in the two things that I kind of always tell my parents that we're going to do is we're going to have a good experience for your kid, whether he's a starter or a role player. And we're going to have good schemes so they can be competitive in the games. I said, I can't control the wins and losses, and the talent will dictate who plays, but we're going to treat every kid so they can have a great experience, and we're going to make sure that our schemes give them a chance to do that. And I've been fortunate to have so many assistant coaches that have given so many hours. My huddle time a week is like 10 hours. It's ridiculous, balancing that. And kids just don't want to leave. We had a kid a couple of years ago who wanted to go to a Catholic school for more exposure. And I said, well, you probably want to go to an ISL school and reclassify. Yeah. So he left after our Super Bowl loss and then missed the Super Bowl win, and still ended up at the level that I thought he would end up at. So, I mean, as you know, not every kid is going to be a D1 kid. And if you don't have to spend that money, we offer 31 AP classes. I have 3 quarterbacks in the NESCAC right now. Every Milton quarterback who's played for me has played in college, every one of them. So, I don't, not to toot my own horn, but our system trains kids to play quarterback. And that's why it usually takes a long time for a kid to break in to our system when we have numbers at the position, because they need to understand coverage and leverage. And we do RPOs, we do screens, we do drop back, they have reads in the run game. Sometimes they're setting the protection. So they are getting an education in that position. So, and a lot of kids just don't want to leave their friends too. So,
well, and what rings with me, Steve, honestly, is what you said at the beginning. And that's why I appreciate you. Not every kid is made for ISL. Not every kid's made for the Catholic Conference, but some kids are. And I appreciate you looking out for your kids, which is fantastic. Now, listen, I'm going to wish you best of luck in the playoffs. All right.
Thank you.
But if you draw Malden Catholic, my son now, Nico's the defensive coordinator.
Right.
Like, listen, no, you're going to make me work extra. And listen, I'm retired here, buddy. I can't watch any more film. I'm watching St. John's prep film now. I mean, I can't be watching your film all week. I got to relax. But Steve, we can't thank you enough. Congratulations on the 200 wins. Okay, buddy. And honestly, best of luck as you move forward. Okay.
Thanks. I appreciate you having me.
Steve, take care. Thank you.
Thanks, Danny.
Thanks, Steve.
All right. Thanks, Danny.
Great. Well, great show, guys, so far. That's unbelievable. Let's get into our rants. Dan, you want to start with your rant, buddy?
Well, I always thought the longest running soap opera today today was General Hospital. However, I think they play second fiddle to the MIA and this latest thing with the Super 8. I mean, this has really become absurd. They did away with it 4 years ago. It made no sense why they did it. They came up with these crazy things. It was just stupid. Now you're hearing, they want to form a subcommittee to do this. Hey, either want it or get rid of it for good. I mean, come on, you're being silly now. I I mean, we all know what it is. We know the coaches would like it. So why not? The other thing they said is that, well, with the gender stuff, because it was only male sports. Well, open it up to every team sport, period. This is the deal. We're going to go to a Super 8. If you want it, you can have it. And then they talked about how they want to make sure the statewide format stays the same, like a regular tournament as opposed to Super 8, which you can't do. But my question is, they've gone in football. One of the things of the statewide is to balance every division. Well, in football, there's no balance in Division 2. Only 6 teams don't make it. So, I mean, if you can change for that, you can change for this. Let's go, guys. Either get rid of it or let's reinstitute it now.
Danny, I couldn't agree with you anymore. It was great when they came up with the Super 8. Let's face it, this state is a top-heavy state in every single sport. Why they want to mess with this thing again, it makes no sense to me at all. It's just, again, like you hit it right there. It's the kumbaya equality, let's just all. But it's not like that in this state. And again, I would love to see the Super 8 in football as well. I think it would be great. I couldn't agree with you more. Good rant, buddy. My rant goes to the NFL. And again, just recently, the Hall of Fame has come out with their nominees. And I go back to one guy. I go back to, why is Fred Smirlis not being considered for the National Football League Hall of Fame? For you young guys, Fred Smirlis was a fantastic All-American 2 sports at Waltham High School, went on to Boston College, was an All-American there, goes out to the Buffalo Bills, plays 14 years, makes 5 Pro Bowls, 4 times All-Pro. And the guy has never received consideration for the Hall of Fame. It drives me crazy. And when I saw the guys being nominated this year, the defensive lineman, John Abert, Robert Mathis, Simeon Rice, and even Vince Wilfork, those guys could not hold Freddie Smirlis' jock. Unbelievable. I really wish at some point when they go back to the senior committee, they do consider Freddie. That guy deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Amen to that. No question about it.
Yeah, he was
one of the greatest wrestlers in state history, too.
State history, Danny. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And a good guy. You know what? You see, Charles Haley doesn't have half the stats. Yeah, he won Super Bowls, but he was an absolute jerk all the way through, and he's in the Hall of Fame. Anyways, all right, let's be a little more of a pleasant Danny. Who you got for a shout-out, buddy?
Well, for Charles Haley, John's number is 617. Okay, never mind. I'm going to shout out exactly. I'm going to shout out Barnstable head coach Ross Giacola. He has done a fantastic job at that school. Each year they're very competitive. They're on 5-0 start this year. They beat Dartmouth last week. And, I think he deserves a lot of props. He does it the right way. And why I always liked him when I was working is he was a guy that, some of these guys, I mean, when they win, they're calling you as they're coming off the field. When they lose, they're in witness protection. This guy, win or lose, always call this stuff in. And I'll always respect coaches for that.
Ross is a great guy. You guys know I started my career on the Cape. It is not easy coaching on Cape Cod. And I'll tell you, and Danny, you're the historian. Mashpee's done a nice job in recent years, stuff like that. But it's really, really difficult. And Ross, what he's done at Barnstable, I agree. What an amazing job. It'll be interesting to see how he does in the tournament. That's going to be a stacked division.
Right.
My shout-outs, and I'm a little bit early, but you know what? I didn't want to miss it next month. My shout-outs go to 3 great guys who are being inducted into the Massachusetts High School Basketball Coaches Hall of Fame. And I happen to know all 3 very well. Paul Conley from Newton North, Steve Harrington from Watertown, and Dick Bliss from Hopkinton, the girls coach. And I'll tell you, PC, I've known him since he was a kid running around like a little lunatic in Watertown. What he did at Newton North will never be matched. And in this day and age, to be able to do that at a public school as he did it was truly incredible. And Newton's going to really miss him. But what a great selection there. Steve Harrington comes into Watertown as a young 24-year-old guy from Brandeis. Yeah, Wakefield, a great 2-sport, 3-sport athlete at Wakefield. comes into Watertown. Watertown was
Sports, yeah.
awful. And Steve Harrington turned that into a Division III power, okay? Doing it the right way, working his tail off. I mean, Steve has done a great job, another deserving guy. And finally, Dick Bliss out at Hopkinton had a legendary career as the women's basketball coach. And you know what? Maybe even a better career as the golf coach, okay? Where he coached Keegan Bradley, and the other guy is escaping me. But
John Curran.
John Curran, exactly. So, and Dick, again, doing it the right way. So my shout out goes to those guys. They're going in early next month. I didn't want to forget it. So hats off to those guys.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
All right, guys, another great show. Fantastic. This has been great. We look forward to a lot of great football next week. And I will be warm back in Florida with the great Danny V.
There you go. Come on back, brother.
Take care, guys.
See you guys.